My wife demanded, "Sign these papers now, or I'll expose your childhood secret." I simply signed them, but then showed her the texts confirming her secret had been online for weeks. My new partner, a hacker, had posted it immediately after she made her threat. Her planned betrayal became a massive self-inflicted wound. I, Simon, age 36, male, had been with Veronica, age 34, for 6 years. I worked as a senior software architect, specializing in secure blockchain technology. My salary was $190,000 per year, plus a small annual discretionary bonus. Veronica worked as an aspiring venture capitalist and social media tech influencer. Her income was highly reliant on brand deals, averaging $60,000 annually. Our combined visible income of $250,000 was comfortable, but constantly strained by the competitive Austin tech scene. We rented a large, sleek, $1,100,000 high-rise apartment downtown. I drove a practical Toyota Prius Prime for high efficiency and discretion. Veronica insisted on driving a leased Tesla Model X to maintain her high-end tech image. We frequented noisy, trendy bars and restaurants that were frequented by local venture capital professionals. Our social life was dominated by her relentless pursuit of perceived status and funding. In late September, a career opportunity arrived that represented the convergence of my entire professional skill set. I was offered the position of Chief Technology Officer, CTO, for a secure distributed ledger startup. The role was based in Tallinn, Estonia, a known hub for cybersecurity innovation. The compensation package was exceptional and completely life-altering. It included a base salary of $350,000. The true value was a 20% equity grant in the company, pre-valuation. The contract also stipulated a $50,000 signing bonus. The total potential earnings were immense. I presented the detailed offer to Veronica one night, knowing her reaction would be critical. I placed the formal documents on the glass coffee table. "This is the ultimate position in my field," I stated. "It includes massive equity potential. Veronica," I added, emphasizing the 20% figure. Veronica briefly glanced at the Estonian city on the paper, her face fixed in familiar disdain. "Tallinn is simply too small and irrelevant for the global VC ecosystem, Simon. The salary is nearly doubled, and the equity is significant," I responded, pointing to the numbers precisely. She scoffed, dismissing the entire proposition. Chief Technology Officer is a dry, interchangeable job title without any visibility. It involves leading a massive, global security platform, I answered, keeping my voice level. "Your entire life is too conservative, Simon, right down to that ugly little Prius," she continued sharply. Her constant mockery of my secure, low-profile choices confirmed her fundamental values. Update 1. I accepted the Chief Technology Officer position privately the following morning. My start date was set for mid-December, allowing me 2.5 months to execute the transition and separation plan. I began preparing for the move with quiet, methodological efficiency. My financial reality had to remain entirely concealed. Veronica continued her dismissive narrative publicly. She told her friend, Chloe, that I was too risk-averse to ever make it big in Austin. "He's running to the coldest part of Europe for a tiny title." Veronica frequently commented to Chloe. Chloe, a marketing director who relied on Veronica for introductions, entirely agreed with her materialistic viewpoint. Our mutual friends often questioned my decision to leave the perceived excitement of the Austin tech market. "Why trade the Texas lifestyle for some Baltic anonymity, Simon?" asked Ben, a local developer. "I am moving toward verifiable professional security," I replied simply. I accelerated my private preparations. I began liquidating my Austin stock portfolio and opening secure accounts in Estonia. I secured a small, quiet, discreet flat in the historic old town of Tallinn, keeping the lease anonymous. Crucially, I contacted Alara, a brilliant Estonian cybersecurity expert and ethical hacker I had collaborated with remotely for years. I needed her specialized, quiet assistance with a specific, tactical task. Update 2. The confrontation arrived abruptly in late October. Veronica had been pressing me to sign documents related to a new investment she was making, which included language about all marital property. I knew these were the papers she would try to use for leverage. I sat down with her in the apartment's sterile dining area. I am moving to Tallinn in 3 weeks. I stated simply. The divorce filing is complete. Veronica's face flashed with momentary panic, quickly masked by intense anger. You cannot file divorce without my consent, Simon. The filing is legally processed and served. I confirmed. The move is non-negotiable. She launched into a furious tirade, demanding I surrender the lucrative equity grant. She then delivered the ultimate threat she thought would silence me. You must sign over half of your equity to me right now, she demanded, slamming the papers onto the table. Sign these papers now, or I'll expose your childhood secret, she concluded with a malicious look. I met her gaze steadily, feeling only a cold, clinical determination. I calmly picked up the pen and signed the papers. I chose the career and self-respect. My wife demanded, sign these papers now, or I'll expose your childhood secret. I simply signed them, but then showed her the text confirming her secret had been online for weeks. My new partner, a hacker, had posted it immediately after she made her threat. Her planned betrayal became a massive self-inflicted wound. Update 3. The fallout was immediate and focused entirely on the betrayal. Veronica's childhood secret remained safe, but her personal life was instantly derailed. The texts I showed her confirmed that Alara, my new partner, had preemptively published verifiable evidence of Veronica's own past financial deceit online. Her planned blackmail was neutralized. She immediately cycled through intense anger and denial. She sent me a series of erratic messages, demanding to know the source of the leak. You hired a criminal hacker to destroy me, she accused in a text. I hired a cybersecurity expert to protect my interests, I replied factually. She was now publicly fighting a narrative that damaged her influencer brand. Her denial was complete. She still believed she could suppress the information. I remained calm and analytically detached through the rapid process. My focus was entirely on the high-level security transition. My emotional state was stable and entirely focused on performance. Moving day arrived with a silent, necessary finality. I shipped my few personal belongings from the rented apartment. Veronica was occupied with managing the online fallout from the revelation. I flew directly to Tallinn, feeling a profound sense of forward momentum and professional liberation. My first detailed view of my life in Tallinn, Estonia, was one of historical charm and technological advancement. My flat in the old town was quiet and highly secure. The job as CTO was immediately demanding, requiring intense focus on cryptographic protocol. I drove a highly efficient, leased Skoda Enyaq for my commute to the tech park. Update 4. I was thriving professionally in the new, high-stakes environment. The role of CTO required decisive leadership and precise technical planning. My team was highly supportive and respected my ethical approach. Socially, I embraced the city's quiet efficiency and historical significance. I quickly connected with a new circle of friends, including a blockchain developer and a data privacy lawyer. My collaboration and relationship with Alara deepened quickly. Financially, the $350,000 base salary was excellent, and the 20% equity grant was rapidly increasing in value. I was investing aggressively in my new Estonian accounts. My lifestyle improvement was controlled, focused entirely on security and reliable technology. By late August, 8 months into the role, I achieved my first major success. I oversaw the successful launch of the secure distributed ledger, resulting in a 3-fold increase in the company's valuation. This technical success earned me a substantial mid-year performance bonus of $40,000. Veronica's old network began reaching out with transparent curiosity. Ben, the developer, sent me a tentative LinkedIn message. I heard the startup is exploding in value, Simon. Ben wrote. The technical foundation is sound, I replied politely. Chloe, the marketing director, sent a vague question about the status of the equity papers. I remained polite but entirely reserved, offering no personal information beyond professional pleasantries. Update 5. In October, I cemented my professional success with a major public announcement. The company closed a massive funding round, explicitly valuing my 20% equity at several $1 million. I posted a professional photo on LinkedIn announcing the successful valuation. Veronica learned the full, non-negotiable truth about my status and the hidden financial power of the equity. She had forfeited millions for the empty threat of exposure. She had signed the papers, giving her zero claim. She sent a series of messages, alternating between confusion and veiled threats. "You engineered this entire situation against me," she claimed furiously. I simply focused on professional execution. I responded with factual clarity. "You should have been honest about the future value," she argued illogically. I provided the exact percentage in writing. I countered. Ben, her developer friend, sent me an explicit apology email. He confessed that Veronica had convinced him I was a financially timid coder. "We were entirely misled about the scope of that equity," he wrote. "My sister, Laura, called me from the States. Your defense was absolute and ethical, Simon," she confirmed. Update 6. In late November, Veronica visited Tallinn, claiming she was meeting a local crypto investor. She contacted me, requesting a meeting to discuss her future options. I agreed to meet her at a busy, public cafe in the financial district. When she sat down, she presented a practiced narrative of emotional growth. She claimed she had spent the last year realizing her life was too focused on transient status. "I now value intellectual rigor, Simon," she insisted softly. "I am pleased you have developed that clarity." I acknowledged neutrally. She insisted she had changed, but I referenced her past actions and the consequences of her online disclosure. I mentioned the damage her own exposed secret had done to her influencer brand. "Your online reputation is now compromised," I stated calmly. That was a momentary lapse of judgment on my part. She tried to excuse it. I then referred to the signed equity papers. "Your legal claim to my assets is zero," I noted. She insisted on returning, suggesting she could now leverage her social skills to benefit the company. "I can be a brilliant CTO's wife," she proposed quickly. I calmly declined the offer, explaining that the foundational trust was destroyed by her blackmail attempt. The betrayal was absolute and preemptive. I stated the fact. "You are being unreasonably cruel and closed off," she insisted. "I am simply maintaining my achieved security and integrity," I answered, ending the conversation. Update 7. Veronica attempted a final, desperate period of online retaliation. She posted anonymous claims on several tech blogs, implying the startup security protocol was flawed. She claimed the entire valuation was based on hype. My lawyer, Michael Chen, managed the attack with efficient legal documentation. Michael immediately sent a cease and desist letter to the hosting platforms. He provided signed letters from external security auditors confirming the protocol's high rating. The claims were removed quickly due to their defamatory nature. Her online claims failed completely. Elara, my partner, posted a detailed, factual rebuttal on a security forum, confirming my technical integrity. She also released further public evidence of Veronica's past shady business practices. Veronica lost all remaining credibility when the forums noted her obvious malice. Update 8. 1 year later, my life was stable, profoundly successful, and deeply satisfying. I was the permanent CTO of the now multi-million-dollar startup. My wealth was securely growing. I was in a committed, highly compatible relationship with Elara, the ethical hacker. We had purchased a historic property outside Tallinn. Our life together was based on mutual respect, strategic collaboration, and intellectual rigor. In mid-December, Veronica sent a final, short message. It was a brief email to my personal address. "I accept the consequences of my final choice." The email read, "I wish I had valued the 20% more than the threat," she wrote, finally admitting the truth. I sent a short, professional, and final reply. "I wish you future stability and wisdom," I wrote. I immediately blocked the address. The entire past conflict was completely and finally resolved. Final update. The following spring, I was giving a keynote address at a major cybersecurity conference in London. While at the event, I was approached by David Hsu, the former CEO of my Austin firm. David Hsu was a prominent figure in the US tech world. David Hsu apologized to me, his expression solemn and respectful. I regret that I enabled the superficial culture that minimized your talent, Simon. He admitted his own mistake in tolerating the toxic environment that valued image over my specialized skill set. He confessed that he should have promoted my work instead of letting Veronica mock it. I wrongly allowed the VC hype to overshadow genuine security science. David Hsu stated. I apologize for the professional friction you endured. He added honestly. I accepted his apology, acknowledging that his admission of error was significant. I explained that my actions were always driven by the necessary defense of my professional integrity. My reflection confirmed the final, enduring life lesson. Always ensure your ultimate professional and financial value is protected, especially when dealing with those who only value surface-level appearance. I moved past the betrayal by calmly turning the blackmail threat into a massive self-inflicted wound for my opponent. The quiet, logical closure came from knowing that I had secured a future of immense wealth, intellectual partnership, and complete ethical control.